Hi there, and welcome to the Spanglish Show with yours truly, Nelson Martinez. So glad you found us again, your platform, tell your people, share the place. We're picking up a lot of viewers and attaboys. And we started on Thanksgiving Day, mind you, 2024. So you will see this in perpetuity, and that's why I have special guests all the time, because they're going to be around a while. And well, we want their music or their talents to be shared with others, and perhaps it'll influence that right person at that right moment to go be a wonderful musician, singer, of course, on and on. And we have people to kind of try to convince you that maybe their profession is the profession that will tickle your fancy. Today's guest on the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez is none other than, well, you may not know him totally yet, but you will. He's climbing big time. So please meet Ryan Montaño. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Nelson.
Hey, welcome to the show. Really nice to have you here. I saw you perform. It was during a party over at Glenn Holmes' home. You were with Al Hurricane, and I was in awe watching your ease with that horn. Congratulations. Tell me, how did you get interested in this kind of thing, the horn?
Sure. I appreciate that. First, thanks for being here. I'm thankful for the opportunity. And in terms of, getting started on the horn, I started in middle school. I just grew up in a musical family. My dad was a musician. My brothers and sisters were musicians, and that's just kind of what we did as a family. Some family are into sports or maybe into, I don't know, a lot of different other passions, and that just kind of something that we did as a family.
Was anybody in the trumpet deal there?
My older brother Rick was a trumpet player, and so he encouraged me to play the trumpet. My brother I have lots of brothers and sisters. One of my brothers was a sax player, another brother was a flute player. So, and I don't know, I just, some people say that, you don't necessarily pick the trumpet picks you. I don't know.
That's pretty good. Well, so the influences were really family influences. Huh?
Yeah, that was sort of the genesis of it, just that was part of the culture of our family, and it was just always music. I remember when I was young, my dad always used to sit at the piano and encourage me to sing, and I sing a little bit, it's not necessarily my thing, but I enjoy it. So,
but I'm told that you not only arrange music, you sing. Yes, that's wonderful. You're a musical person. You got a good soul.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So you're going to keep it up.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I would like to think so. Like sometimes you never know where life goes. Sometimes the passion or maybe the reason for why you're creating or doing something kind of evolves and transforms over time, but I feel like for the foreseeable future I'll be doing music. I did video for a long time and whatnot. That's what I got my degree in college, and before I was able to transition to playing the trumpet full time, that's what I did. Like I worked at Telemundo. I was the production manager. So all this video stuff. I did a lot of that, video editing, photography, videography, motion graphics, things of that nature. So
that's pretty cool. You're a busy guy. Yeah, and you're not so old. You're a spring chicken still, as we say.
I guess. I don't know.
And may I ask how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 38 years old. 38. My
God, you're just starting.
Maybe.
That's absolutely wonderful. Well, I'm going to take our first break here because I'm interested in knowing what your break moment was, and how you feel as you see the audience in awe of you. So, stick around, don't go away, because we got a lot to talk about and with Ryan Montaño.
If you haven't tried the Breaking Bad burger from La Mexicana Tortilla Company, you're missing out. It's one of the show's favorites, just one of many delicious items on the menu.
And welcome back to the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez, yours truly. Yes, I used to do the news, but I'm tired of telling you that because you probably say, yeah, you've told us 1,000 times. But we are getting new viewers, which, people say, is that the guy that used to do the news? Ma, he's gotten so old, Mike. No, anyway, here we are. We're still bouncing, and we're happy to do so on this Spanglish Show. It's a podcast about local New Mexicans who are making it good and are giving us a good name. So us Latinos who are, New Mexicans in general, we're cool and we're talented too. So this, we've been having this conversation about music and how demanding it could be, and who else to ask, if not an up-and-coming star. He is a star. Ryan Montaño. Say hi, Ryan. How are you?
Hello.
Good to see you here, brother. Thank you again for making time to talk about this business. Your music, your trumpet playing, your horn playing. What do you call yourself? A horn player?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a trumpet player, and I write music and produce music, and I mix my music, and I make videos, and I do
musician through and through, to be sure.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm a dabbler, I guess. I don't know. I like to dabble in a bunch of different things. So.
Sure. Where'd you go to school? High school?
Manzano.
Hey, here we go.
And then I went to the university.
Good. You're New Mexican through and through, yes?
Yes, sir.
As we say in Spanish, es un nuevo mexicano, netamente nuevo mexicano. Truly, and through. And I'm glad you're here again. This is Ryan Montaño, who plays a mean horn. And you got to watch him. And actually, he was with Al Hurricane, his band, Al Hurricane Jr. And I recently saw him at a party. And boy, wait till you, if you get a chance, if you see it on Facebook or something, and it says Ryan Montaño, and he does have some notices on there. And this, even though this interview is in perpetuity, maybe by the time you see this, he'll still be kicking and taking names, So anyway, look him up. You'll love his style. Muy suave, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you're a good role model. You really are. How many young horn players look up to you? I'm sure. And what advice would you give them?
Again, I hate to keep coming back to it, but to me, honesty and authenticity is that's the way to go.
You can't repeat that often enough.
Yeah,
authenticity.
Again, I see a lot of, I've seen a lot, and I just think that to me, when you walk that path of just doing things the right way, and to me, the right way to do it is by being honest with it and authentic with it. It's almost like a self-protecting sort of mechanism as you kind of walk through life, and as you create your art, and as you deal through the business side of music and sort of managing your own career and things like that. If you just do it honestly, I think that's a self-protecting mechanism, and it kind of keeps you away from I call them the leeches, the people that and I hate to be kind of callous with that, but it's there's a lot of people that will try to attach themselves to people and projects and talent and in the name of making a buck, you know what I mean? And they will say that their intentions are for other reasons, but to me, I feel like hopefully I have a pretty good sense of those intentions. And for me, that's just, I just like to deal with people and do the business side of things with people that are honest about it. So, yeah. Yeah.
We each have the sense of knowing good and bad from the vibes that we pick up.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of people develop those, they can smile for a while in front of you, but if they're really badasses per se, they can't hide that. So easy to pick up. I just got to pay attention, especially if you're a musician. Yeah. I mean, you're real sensitive. Musicians are. I don't know. It's just some magical thing. Who knows? Maybe you've been in tune to yourself for many lives prior. Here we go again on the reincarnation thing. But how can you be so good so quickly on this earth? No, you've done this many lives before, I would say. But who am I to say? Que sé yo, as we say. But anyway, so how do you keep up with that demand? I mean, you're as busy as you want to be. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's there are days when I just don't necessarily feel like working, and I want to go golf, or I want to go jog, or I want to go ride the bike, or I want to go hiking or whatever, but then there are other days that where it's interesting, the energy spurts that come. Sometimes it's just like, I can really be really productive and yield a good amount of productivity with music and songwriting and producing and doing all those things. And then sometimes, like, I find that after I finish a song and I put it out and I, send it to the right channels for promotion and things of that nature, I kind of go through like a couple week period where I think need to recharge. I would describe it. It's like I call it maybe the doldrums, but it's nice. It's a nice sort of way to relax and whatnot. And then that fire will start to come back again. And then I start to, okay, I'm going to start creating again and start, putting out songs. And, that's kind of where I feel that my role or the role of music in my life is in the studio and making music and producing and keep, making the best songs that I possibly can, well-written songs, creative songs, making sure that the mixing is good, the right musicians, the right melodies, the right backgrounds, the textures, all the things that go into making like a good song. That's where I feel that I'm supposed to be.
Well, it's good karma you are creating, because it makes people feel great. Music's the deal. It's better than any medicine, they say, and I can agree with that. Mm-hmm. Music is, can you do that again, please?
Oh,
he took a drink from our cup, and we didn't get a shot of that.
You got it? The Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez.
There you go.
Check it out.
Sorry, so vain. No, I just want to let you know that your talent's appreciated. People love what you do with music. You make people feel wonderfully, and that's it. That's everything. You're getting some points somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of suffering in the world, and hopefully if we can each do our small part to make the world a better place, and be a blessing in someone's life, bring a smile to their face, and Lord knows we need more of that, a whole lot more of that. So
and how? Yeah. Hey, listen, Ryan Montaño, I want to tell you once again that is our guest today on the Spanglish Show. A trumpeter, an entertainer, a writer, a producer, you name it. And that's what you almost have to be. Versatile, multifaceted, as they say, to succeed. And boy, is he ever climbing that tough ladder. I mean, there's such competition out there. And yet all you have to do is be good. And how do you be good? You practice. Practice makes perfect, huh?
Hopefully. Sometimes it does.
It does.
Sometimes it can be diminishing returns if you
you're humble.
If you're doing
and
it too
I
much.
love that quality in anybody that doesn't go on thinking they're such hot stuff, and yet you don't have to be that way. I don't think. You just show your stuff.
I understand.
And you do that well. What else was I going to ask you here? What are you currently working on? Let's go there, because I saw a clip of something and I said, "Whoa, who is that?"
Yeah, Mark Padilla over at Lesman's Music and Sound, he approached me. He's like, "Hey man, I got these really nice fancy cameras. They're called Red cameras, real nice industry standard." Yes. He's like, "Hey, would you like to come in and we can film something?" And so I got the band together and we recorded some original music, a few of the original songs. And so we're in the process of mixing and syncing up the video to those takes. And so that's one project, and I just put out my newest song, Sanctuary. That's at radio now, and that's doing well. And then arranging a song, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, that's going to be put out to national jazz radio across the United States, and that'll be at the end of November. So all of September I'm dedicating to finishing that arrangement, getting the musicians recorded. I'm in the demo phase of that right now.
Okay.
Get the musicians in to record, mix and master it, and then send it out for radio promotion. And then, of course, working on the project with Mark Padilla that we did, the video and Lesman's, and making that the best that it can be. And, doing some video, and I like to do like long exposure photography, long exposure time lapses, and then edit those together and put that behind my music. I'm looking forward to Balloon Fiesta because I'm going to shoot some time lapses there. And I don't know, something about the aesthetic of the time lapse really resonates with me. I hope, maybe it's like a metaphor for how I live my life, kind of everything on fast forward. But I don't know, maybe
slow
not.
Motion at times.
Slow motion.
Hey, listen, so Balloon Fiesta, I don't know, I don't think they let you fly a drone there, but my son's a drone pilot. And you'd like some, well, maybe you can just go up in a balloon and take a camera.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. This will be the third season that I've shot time lapses for the Balloon Fiesta. And so I'm looking forward to. I know not all the good spots, but I know lots of good spots around around Albuquerque where you can put yourself in a position, because Albuquerque's cool. It like dips down in the center, and then at the center of that is the Balloon Fiesta Field. So you can position yourself around different points in the city to make sure that you get the shot, so to speak, the right shot. And so I kind of have a philosophy with the time lapse thing is I'll show up for any shot. And sometimes, that means going out late at night. And if there's like a really dynamic time lapse that will lend itself towards a great image, then it's like, even if I may be tired, or maybe it's like, oh, that's a lot of snow there, or I don't want to hike that high up, I'll do it anyway.
Sure, but that's cut above.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. To me, I some of the shots that I've gotten, like I have this song called Dreamer that I shot a bunch of long exposure time lapses, but that was in the city of San Diego. And some of those time lapses, in my opinion, are once in a lifetime time lapses, just because I took that approach of.
So you're going to show that, you share that with us, and we'll put it on the webpage here right after this interview and so forth. We'll just incorporate it and incorporate some of your beautiful playing. Continued success for sure. We're not quite done yet. We're going to take another break here. A short break to pay the bills, as they say. But basically, I'm going to come back and let or ask our guest, Ryan Montaño, what advice does he give to a kid? Flat out. I mean, I want to play the trumpet, they say. Or maybe even, like I was considering it in the 7th grade, should I take the trumpet up? And I did. But somehow it fell apart because I did not practice. Practice. But anyway, we'll get that whole story in just a moment after we come back from this. And by the way, I was telling Ryan just before we started taping here, was that, the big talk shows, if you will, most of them have an orchestra on the side. So when they say, well, we'll be right back after this break, and the orchestra plays on. Well, we're low budget, one-man band. So I got to tell you, we'll be right back. Don't go away. Look at that hamburguesa. That's the Breaking Bad burger, oh yeah.
Yup, as everyone says, it's delectable, delicious, scrumptious. Oh my God. Hey, and don't forget Taco Tuesdays. No más hambre. You won't be hungry for days. A la Mexicana Tortilla Company.
Reloj, no marques las horas.
Okay, we're back, and thank you for hanging on and listening to the most interesting. Well, it's interesting from the fact that musicians have a special something, aura, talent, past, and I mean DNA past, as we discussed. And that's why I like talking to him. And today I'm talking to Ryan Montaño. Man, you remember that name because he's been around. I know he's known, a lot of people know him and heard of him recently. He plays with Al Hurricane Jr. and smooth. So welcome back. We're going to wrap this segment up too, and it's been a real pleasure, really, to catch your vibe. If
I appreciate that. And thank you for what you do. Showcasing New Mexico talent. I think it's admirable. You have your studio set up. You put intention and creativity behind it. You're running the whole thing, one-man band. It's impressive. So respect to you for what you do.
Well,
keep doing your thing.
Thanks. That's pretty nice of you. No one's said that before. No, that's nice of you. I'm actually just thrilled for the opportunity that the energy of the universe has given me to continue my broadcasting desire. I don't know what it is.
Storyteller.
Storyteller. I guess I was a town crier in my past lives.
There you go.
But anyway, Ryan Montaño is a trumpeter, a beautiful horn player, and if you ever have a chance to catch him in a concert with anyone, mostly you do Al Hurricane or a bunch of folks, whoever calls you up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty selective with the bands that I play with. I say yes to some and others if I don't feel it's a good fit for me creatively, or just kind of, it's nice to be able to pick and choose. But, playing with Al Jr.'s, especially these past couple months, has been the most fun that I've had playing in a band in a long time. I just really am enjoying it. It's so much fun. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
And you know, the crowds that he gets, even at private parties, as I was in with when I saw you, it is so cool to see the reaction of folks, partygoers or whatever. They just sit there in awe on how smooth this Mr. Ryan does with his horn. And you know, I'd like to know if you can just take a moment to give young musicians, especially trumpet players trying to break into the industry, what do you tell them?
I would say explore the music and the energy and the things about music that set a fire in you, that set your soul on fire. And when you find that, and if and be honest with yourself, you know, like maybe, you know, doing music on the weekends or what they call weekend warriors, that's totally cool. You know, if that's what the role of music is supposed to play in your life, explore that. If you want to be a musician, you know, I would, like a musician full time, that's very hard, you know. It's funny, one of my friends told me, you know, I said, yeah, being a musician is hard. He goes, well, you know, being a doctor is hard, and doing 9 to 5 is hard, and, you know, digging ditches is hard. Yes. Pick your poison, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, doing music full time is very hard, but it's possible, you know, and it kind of depends what you want to do. If you want to be a jazz musician, it's a very competitive field, and it's very, you know, there's lots of different types of jazz, you know, and you know, maybe you want to be a touring musician, or maybe you want to be a guitar player to the stars, you know what I mean? If you want to do that thing, you know, maybe go out to the big cities where the musical directors are and the opportunities to be in the studios are, you know, go to where that is. I always try to advocate people to record yourself and record your original music, because that's what worked for me, and it's possible to make a good living and put food in your belly and a roof over your head playing music. It is possible. But again, do it authentically, do it honestly, and work hard at it, you know, and whatever it is that you do, whether it's making music or, you know, playing with someone else's band, you know, do it the absolute best that you can be. You know, specifically when I play with Al Jr., I've watched people walk up to him after concerts with tears in their eyes, crying because that music has meant so much to them. Yeah. And to me, I have a responsibility to honor that legacy that his father and that he's and him have created, and lots of other New Mexico music artists as well. But so when I go and I play the trumpet for his shows, I'm making sure I play it the best I can, because it's not only it's the integrity of playing the trumpet, but in the integrity of the music and what it means to people. And so it's like an honor to be able to play that. And I think of those people that go up to, you know, Al Jr. and Al Sr. and Maury, and they're crying. You know, it's like this music means something to people, and I need to respect and honor that. So you know, those types of things when you're doing music, do that with intention. You know, whatever it is, if you're making your own music and recording it, you know, I'm not one to be like, oh, that's good enough. To me, it's like, is this the absolute best that I can make it? And I would encourage musicians that are aspiring to make music the profession, whatever you're doing in music, do it with that intention, the absolute best that you can be. You don't have to be the best, because there's always, you know, what's that phrase? There's always someone better, you know, whatever that term means.
Whatever that means,
but you bring something to the table that no one else can bring to the table, and double down on that, whatever that is. You know, like for me, it's, I feel that I do well in songwriting and creating music. And so I've made the decision, you know, a couple of years ago to really double down on that. And now that's how I make my living, and that's how I put food in my belly and a roof over my head. And so, yeah, double down on the things that make you undeniably you when it comes to music.
Well, that's good advice, no doubt about it. But the thing I'm reminded when you're saying all those things is you're almost like an actor. You've got to have another job more or less at the beginning, yeah?
Unless you get lucky, or maybe you have the goods. Maybe you're the next Daniel Day-Lewis.
Maybe you have the goods. There you go. Yeah. That's pretty well put. And how do you know if you got the goods? Well, you'll know. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? And like sometimes, you know, that what is that self-doubt that comes in? So what am I even doing? Maybe this isn't for me. And And that, to me, like, I feel if you really pursue the path of honesty, you know, I've been honest with myself when it comes to like live performing. Sometimes, like, you know, with my band, it's hard for me to perform with my band in a public space, because I'm worried about a lot of things, from like how the band sounds to the arrangements to how does my trumpet sound, how's the band sound to the audience, and all those things. And to me, it's hard for me to kind of get in that moment of Zen. And plus, like, you know, like for a lot of years, I was doing my own booking, and when I would play jazz festivals and stuff, I would dedicate one day a week towards reaching out to those, you know, festival curators and doing all those things independently. And I was getting a lot of like roadblocks, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And, you know, I would get some successes and whatnot, but to me, I just felt like it wasn't a good use of my time and wasn't a good use of my energy, at least at this point in my career. And so I said, well, what's working? And so I decided to double down on what was working, and that was my recorded music. And I literally make a living writing songs and recording my trumpet, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm very proud of that, for sure.
Debonair, calm, confident. What else comes tonight? And he likes carne adobada. No, I'm not sure.
I love it. Love carne.
Carne. Bueno, muchas gracias for being with us, and that's about as much Spanish as we talk today. I guess it is a Spanglish show after all. Pero muchas gracias por estar con nosotros en una entrevista con this very talented fella, talentoso. You say it in Spanish, huh? Talented? Talentoso. Boy, oh boy. Thank you, Ryan, y hasta la próxima. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Nelson.
Hasta luego.
The Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez.